You're watching the PlantX Vodcast. Join us as we explore the inner workings of all things plant-based and all things PlantX, from the products and lifestyles to the people behind them. Now welcome our host, the man who combined his love of e-commerce and the plant-based lifestyle to create PlantX, Sean Dollinger.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the PlantX Vodcast. Thank you very much for taking time to join us. Sorry that we had to shift the time a little bit. I was on a 5.5-hour flight today from Vancouver, BC to Montreal. Gonna meet up with our partners over here on the distribution side. We see a spike in sales, obviously. Best time of year for e-com, heading into Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the holiday season. Yeah, thanks for adjusting, and thank you to our guest Danielle, who we'll bring on in just a moment, from Somatic, who has a phenomenal product, very innovative. Can't wait for her to come share about all the health benefits and the education behind it, because everybody's so used to coffee and drinks, like tea, etc. So it's going to be really, really interesting to learn a little bit about their story and about their product. For all our first-time viewers, what is PlantX all about? We're your one-stop shop for everything plant-based. So if you're looking for meal delivery, groceries, plant-based cosmetics, plant-based products for your pets, education, learning about what plant-based living is all about, can't tell you how many times people say, oh, well, isn't plant-based just pasta or bread? And how could I get full? How could I be healthy off that? And truly, I'm on a 10 plus year plant-based mission over here. A lot of education, teaching myself. And I've lost 60 pounds during the journey. And originally, when I came up with the idea for PlantX and told Alex about it, and Julia and Lauren, I really wanted to do something to change the world and give people what I experienced. It wasn't just the physical change, but the mental change. And having this incredible platform that, Jacqueline just put the whole Black Friday banners on all of our websites. Go check it out on Little West, on PlantX. And, for anybody who's joining us live today, give feedback. We're giving a $100 gift card for you to go and check out those Black Friday specials, test out our website, and see what it's all about. So again, the best way to understand truly what PlantX is all about is just going onto plantx.com, plantx.ca, the UK website. Click around, see the 5,000 plus products, and I believe Kumar put over 2,000 products live today on our Canada website. Hence one of the reasons here in Montreal to make sure that all goes smooth and everything gets executed on. On that note, let's bring Danielle onto the show. Hey, thanks again for accommodating the time change, and really appreciate you being here today.
Thanks so much for having me. It's an honor to be with you.
Awesome. And I believe you guys were one of the first products we actually ever carried, and the traction around it, and it's just awesome. And I can't wait for the viewers to learn a little bit more about it. But before we jump into that, we always start our vodcasts asking, how do you take your coffee?
So I drink my coffee. I actually drink decaf because I don't drink caffeine. So I drink a Four Sigmatic. We do a Swiss water process to decaffeinate the coffee without any chemicals. And then I actually use coconut milk straight from the can typically, or a homemade almond milk. So try to get a plant-based milk that has none of the additives and seed oils and all the other preservatives that many on the shelf do. And then I do spices to my coffee. So I always do cinnamon. I lately have been adding, it's like a full ground up vanilla bean. So including the pod itself and the shell of it. And sometimes cardamom, even a little cayenne if I'm feeling spicy, and froth it up. Of course, in that Four Sigmatic decaf coffee, there is potent extracts of functional mushrooms. So in our decaf, we have reishi and chaga mushroom extracts in there as well.
Awesome. Love decaf and 100% agree with you. Just because we're living this plant-based lifestyle, we still got to make sure that we look at the ingredients we're putting into our lifestyle, because otherwise, what's the point of trying to be healthy or go down this journey of exploring new things? And sounds really interesting, all the drinks you make. So next time we're down in Venice, we'll have to get you to whip something up, because I know you're right in the area.
Absolutely. I know. I'm sitting in front of my apothecary today. It's like where all the Four Sigmatic ingredients begin. So I thought it'd be fun to share. We have our raw ingredients and tinctures, and most of my days are tinkering and playing with what we're coming up with next.
That's awesome. And into that direction, perhaps you could share what the company is all about, what the product actually is. I know you have a lot of different SKUs and products, so go ahead and share.
Absolutely. So we started 10 years ago in Finland, actually. So our founder, Tero, is a 14th generation Finnish farmer. So he grew up foraging wild berries and mushrooms. And it was very common in Finland to have this wellness lifestyle. So saunas and showering in spring water. And he realized that the rest of the world didn't live this way. And so he really took it upon himself to bring these Finnish roots into a more accessible product for the rest of the world. And I can share a bit about what our brand name means, which is really fun, that bell curve that we just looked at there. So essentially, if you take all of the edible foods in the world and you put them on a graph based on their nutrient density, this is what you're looking at. So some foods are horrible for you. That's the far left of this bell curve. Some foods are amazing for you. Most foods are average. They fall somewhere in between. And so we have this bell curve. And if you draw a line right in the center at the mean of this bell curve, every measurement from the mean is a standard deviation or a sigma. Okay, this is a little bit heady, but when you move in the negative sigma direction, foods get worse and worse for you. So think about like highly processed, refined white sugar and things that, like you say, is this even food? And in the positive sigma direction, foods get more unique, more nutrient dense, better and better for you. And so as a brand, we use foods that are 4 sigmas, which is the furthest deviation from average foods. There's only about 100 foods that fall within this category. These are the 100 most nutrient dense, most researched foods on the planet. Many of them are functional mushrooms. There's others such as plant adaptogens, but everything we do is 100% plant-based, organic, gluten-free. And our mission is to provide these ingredients in a way that is easy to use, that is built into your routine. And that's really tasty, because these ingredients don't work if you take them once. The way they've been used for thousands of years in cultures across the world is as a tonic. So something that's taken every day to build vitality and build that health. And so we understand it's very hard to start new habits, any new habits. And so instead, we think about what people do already every day and how we can kind of habit stack and add these high potent extracts into things that people do every day, like like coffee, right? Hence mushroom coffee was born.
Awesome. And I love the innovation, right? That's one of the things that's so mind-blowing in our industry is, coffee beans. They've been around, oh God, probably hundreds of years. I don't know the exact number, which I guess with my first question, I should know a little bit more about coffee, but in general. And then what we're seeing in this plant-based space where people are being pushed to the limits to go out and explore all these new things. Like yesterday, I was speaking to a group, I believe the product's Find, and they create this full protein out of lava rocks around Yellowstone National Park. And I'm like, sorry, come again. And just like this graph goes up and you're speaking about all these different things and where your product sits on that graph, it's truly amazing. And I know that you just came out with a book. I believe that I found that out in the first 30 minutes of getting to meet you with the co-founder or founder of your company. Maybe you could introduce the viewers to the book and what it's all about.
Yeah, thank you. I am very curious to learn more about this lava, but for another time. Just end of September, Tero, our founder, and myself co-authored this book, Healing Adaptogens. And I'm just so excited to birth this into the world. The mushroom space is exploding. Adaptogens are popping up everywhere. I was just seeing Dove products, body products, has an adaptogen line right now. I mean, there's like adaptogens have some of them like ashwagandha surpassed green juice in Google searches. Like they are really exploding. And yet there's a lot of marketing hype out there and a lot of people aren't getting the true benefits. And so it was really important to write this book. Went through 1,000 gold standard placebo-controlled double-blind clinical trials, the history and use case of the top 21 adaptogens, and combined Taro and Mai's 10 to 15 years of working with these plants and mushrooms into it's definitive, but super accessible. So if you've never heard of adaptogens or if you have been using them for a decade, this book is meant to be valuable for you to learn something, to take something away, and really to empower you to know how to bring these ingredients into your life to experience the benefits that they can offer.
And I think the direction you guys are going in with the education piece, with the Mushroom Academy on your website, one of the big things that we ran into, we're always trying to think outside the box at PlantX, because if everybody has the same products in Canada, we don't believe that driving to the lowest price is what creates a community and experience. We want to give fair prices. We want to keep the product fresh, but we want to be innovative. So I still remember we brought your product in. I was in Los Angeles, but we were bringing the product into Canada. And I get a 1-hour call from Health Canada asking me 100 questions about these products, about these mushrooms, about all these different things. And I'm like, no, and I don't have enough background in my arsenal to give them the education piece. And then I believe like 3 days after, and she wouldn't stop calling me. She called me like 5 times a day. She was so like freaking out about the product. And then a competitor of ours had gotten approval from Health Canada like literally 2 days or 3 days after. So it like dropped all the concerns. But it was like, oh my gosh, on this new innovative product. So there's amazing the different barriers of entry. So tying back to the book, tying back to your academy, I do think it's a really, really important piece on why should people make this move? Why should people try your product? What is the health benefits?
Yeah, and I'm so glad you bring that up, just the innovation piece, because it is really new. We've typically had food, and the things that we consume, our coffee, our protein, whatever we buy in the grocery aisle in one lens of our mind. And then we have supplements in a totally separate aisle. And what we've been trying to do is bridge that gap and combine the two and say, hey, instead of, taking 20 capsules, what if you could build this extract into your coffee? So that said, there's so many benefits and the education is so important. So yeah, what you're looking at now is I launched this really cute, quirky Mushroom Academy. It's a 100% free online academy. They're short videos. They're all between 3 and 5 minutes. And you can block out some time and do it all at once, or you can say, hey, I'm really interested in learning more about lion's mane. I'm seeing that at PlantX a lot. What's this lion's mane about? And you can click that video and learn some of the benefits. I also launched this magazine that you're looking at, which is kind of our version of a blog. And you can go one by one if you want to read a little bit more in depth about the ingredients themselves. So here is chaga, right? Our most antioxidant rich food on the planet. Amazing for skin health. It contains melanin and superoxide dismutase. It is just an incredibly powerful, you can think of it for many ways, but anything you would use antioxidants for, which is really, when we age, when we're exposed to the sun, when we exercise, antioxidants are so critical in today's worlds too, that we're so concerned with long-term immune health. These ingredients just have never been more relevant for what we're experiencing today as a society.
Yeah, no, and thank you to you and the team and the founder of your company on pushing the barrier, going out there, exploring, so that we could all benefit and enjoy this new innovative product. And the team's gonna want to kill me for this next direction we're going to go in, because I love that 101 on your site, and I've been speaking about it for 2 years now. So Jacqueline, who you got to meet before the show today, and Alex, who do a little bit on, not a little, they do that whole side of the website. I can't wait to play around and explore and use that as a project for the start of 2023. because I think it's important. Why do people want to introduce more plants into their lifestyle and go in that direction? But, we're about 15 minutes into the podcast, and I want to make sure we have, you on the show today. So interesting live. If anybody has any questions, and Jacqueline and Christian, I'm obviously in the car and it's not the best setup, and I don't want to leave this screen today. So if maybe Christian, you could pop in a few minutes with any questions that might have come through, and the winner for today, that would be great. But before we go into that, one of the things, and I'm going to ask the next question, tying in two different pieces. So obviously, what are the costs versus traditional coffee or tea? And then I believe there's a product that we've had on our website as well, a product called Mudwater. If you could speak, I know that you're a leader in the space, so maybe you could speak a little bit about some of the similar products and how they're different, because we are a platform, as you know, so our whole idea is give people choice and selection, and we believe everybody's our partner out there, and we want to educate the whole world on these unbelievable products. So
Yes.
you could jump in.
So much here. This is so juicy. Okay, so to start, what is our mushroom coffee? And then, there's lots of competition in the space. We use real coffee first and foremost. So there's a lot of coffees out there. We start with organic Arabica fair trade coffee, and then we add functional mushroom extracts grown on wood. So there's three pieces here. The first is that we use real mushrooms. So it's called the fruiting body. This is the part that our ancestors have used, that we have the research to support, where the medicinal compounds are. So it's this real mushroom growing off the side of trees. The second piece is these are coming from nature. So either grown on logs or actually wild harvested, like the case of chaga, from birch trees out in nature. Our chaga comes from Siberia, the largest birch forest in the world. The third piece is that our mushrooms are extracted. This is critical. Our bodies actually can't use the benefits of mushrooms in their raw form, and so they have to be extracted for your body to receive the benefits. So whether you're using psychoactive or any other functional mushroom product, it's critical, if you want to receive the benefits, to check off these three things first. Am I getting the real mushroom? Has it been grown on wood? And has it been extracted? So in comparison, I guess I'll just briefly talk on the competitor Mudwater, which, more players in the space, I think, can raise education, which is a great thing. Mudwater doesn't use coffee itself. It does include other adaptogens, so it has turmeric and cacao in there, and then very different in terms of the functional mushrooms. So the mushrooms they use are actually mycelium grown on a grain substrate, which is very different than kind of our philosophy, which is using the ingredients as nature intended, really drawing on our Finnish heritage to really look at nature and say, okay, nature knows best. And so we don't grow any ingredients in a lab or in sterile environments, but instead really harness the power of nature and the source of where these come from.
Love that. And what I love about these vodcasts is I get to learn stuff as well each time. And makes perfect sense growing mushrooms on the side of trees and wood, etc. Obviously, when I go for these amazing hikes here in Vancouver, BC, what do I see growing? And that's exactly the way I see it growing, not in a lab, like you say. And love that. Thanks for sharing that with us. And love to know that your product does contain coffee, and I think that definitely makes it unique and different. And I'm definitely a supporter of coffee. Yeah, you can't find me without one. And we own actually I heard the other day, 53% of Portfolio Coffee, which you've got to check out also. It's unbelievable, great coffee. So maybe there could be a partnership.
I love it. Yeah, if you drink any coffee, you can always add, functional mushroom or adaptogen extracts to it. It doesn't have to be our coffee, but there's so many benefits to that combination. It skips the crash and the jitters. It's easier on your stomach. So any coffee you're drinking, right, you can kind of be your own formulator and add other adaptogens and mushrooms to it to get the benefits you're looking for and kind of elevate that coffee experience.
That's really cool. And we could definitely add that to the functionality of Portfolio Coffee. So our team should definitely jump in and explore. So on that note, Christian, did you want to jump in and ask some questions from viewers? Not to put you on the spot. I don't know if you're even able to do it. I think we've heard your voice in the past, but
You want the picture? Here
oh,
we are.
all
All right,
right.
Sean, are you signing off?
Nope, I'm going to stay on, and you could ask the questions, and away we go.
All right. So from Utrex, Danielle, what about the competition? Is it kind of a crowded niche or not?
It's a very crowded niche. When we started 10 years ago, no one was doing this. They're like, what do you mean you're putting mushrooms in coffee? And really in the past couple years, it's expanding. I'm like thinking of this phase as the shroom boom. And really my goal is to get people to experience the benefits, whether they're using functional mushrooms for cognitive health, immunity, gut health, energy, libido. They have so many benefits. And so yeah, I think, raising more ships raise all tides, that phrase, like we can all rise together. But at the same time, we do have to be, we have to use a keen eye and make sure that you're getting real products that are going to lead to those benefits. I like to share that 74% of reishi products out on the market today contain zero reishi mushroom at all. This is a high concern. There's a lot of people using fillers, pixie dusting, right? So using like a tiny amount of an ingredient and saying that it's in there. So I saw a product the other day that had 2 milligrams of ashwagandha per serving when I recommend a starting dose of at least 200 milligrams, right, of ashwagandha. So really making sure you are an educated consumer because these ingredients are so powerful. They're the most nutrient-dense ingredients we have. But I hate when people spend money and don't receive the benefits. It's like the most expensive supplement you buy is the one that doesn't work. So how can we all together spread education and make sure that you're buying products that are clean, that you're getting a dose that's going to lead to what you're using it for, that's coming from the right place, that's free of fillers. And so that's what I'm trying to do, through things like the Mushroom Academy, our magazine, this new book we just came out with. So lots of resources, and there's more beyond just what we're doing to help you navigate the crowded space and make sure that you spend your money wisely and actually receive the amazing benefits that these adaptogens and mushrooms can offer you.
Yeah, one of the big things for me is one, your passion is felt through through the camera, and then when I'm trying out these new products, I want to feel confident. I want to feel safe. I think I saw another question on allergies. Like my son, he's deathly allergic to actually dairy, of all things, like deathly allergic. And when he's very sensitive to the outdoors, and if he jumps into a lake that might have something, and you see all these different things take place, with your products, people need to be worried. Do we need to be careful? If somebody's allergic to mushrooms, is it treated in a way that it's not a concern?
This is such a great question. So fungi are their own biological kingdom, right? So often people think of mushrooms and we think of like Agaricus bisporus, which is one species that actually gets remarketed as cremini, as portobello, as, little brown mushroom. Those are all the same exact species. And so we are thinking of this one species when in reality, just like we're part of the animal kingdom, there's the plant kingdom, fungi are their own biological kingdom. And it's massive. The number is highly debated, but what we do know is there's at least 6 times as many species in this fungal kingdom as there are all plants on Earth, right? So when someone says like, oh, I'm allergic to, I don't know, maybe it is a certain vegetable, they're like, I can't have onion. Would you automatically assume that they can't have a strawberry? Definitely not, right? The only commonality is that they're both within this plant kingdom. So a lot of our functional mushrooms should be viewed very differently than culinary varieties. And many of these functional mushrooms are actually potent antifungals. So it's really, people are like, what do you mean a fungus fighting a fungus? But that happens all the time in the animal kingdom, right? Animals fighting other animals. And so, yeah, really kind of drawing that line and saying, yeah, not all mushrooms are created equal, just like all plants aren't created equal, all animals aren't created equal. And this functional variety, there's about 600 to 700 that are considered functional. They're more like herbal medicines. They are very different from the culinary mushrooms we eat, then psychedelic mushrooms, then poisonous mushrooms. They're really in this league of their own, more in the herbal medicine category. So used for their benefits like immunity and brain health and libido and all sorts of things, depending on which species we're thinking of.
I got one more for you. So Danielle, what about holiday flavors? Is there anything in store? And I believe this is what we're looking at. Someone wants to know if it tastes like regular coffee or if there's something different about it.
Yeah, so it tastes just like coffee. That's the other thing about these mushrooms we use. They grow on trees, they're bitter, they're earthy. There's pretty much only two bitter flavors that the Western palate knows and loves. They're coffee and chocolate. So two of our most popular products are mushroom coffee and then a cacao mix. So we use real cacao and adaptogen itself, and then add reishi mushroom, which is a powerful functional species for stress and relaxation. Amazing. It tastes like a superfood hot chocolate for the holidays. We also make a caffeine-free chai latte that has reishi and turkey tail mushrooms in it. So a great holiday option with all of those warming carminative chai spices like cinnamon and nutmeg and cardamom, but with the additional benefits for stress and for gut health. And yeah, lastly, depending on what you do for the holidays, our products are ready to use in their form. So while we say, you can mix them in water if you want to use them straight up, you can also get creative. So for the holiday season, we have a lot of people baking with our products, right? Adding cacao mix into different desserts or using the brewed coffee into other, fun recipes. So on our magazine, we have a full section devoted to recipes that you can check out and get creative. The best way to use this is the way that will be consistent and fun for you to do. So I like to say the medicine doesn't work if you don't take it. So what will seamlessly build into your routine? And I encourage you using it in that way.
Right. Someone else on Instagram wanted to know if there was any sort of psychedelic properties to these
Yeah.
products you have.
So great question. These are not psychoactive at all. They are legal around the world, right? We sell them in Whole Foods and PlantX and marketplaces. Psychedelic mushrooms are still federally legal, although of course we're seeing traction in many states in the U.S. But the properties of these functional mushrooms, they don't contain that psychoactive compound psilocybin or psilocin. Okay. Instead, they contain many other compounds that can still be beneficial for cognitive health. Lion's mane is often touted for its nootropic benefits, but the psychoactive component is not to be of concern with functional mushrooms.
Mm-hmm. There seem to be a lot of questions about how people feel about it. And I took a quick peek at your Instagram account. What kind of content can we expect from following your Instagram?
Yeah, on this first page, we have a lot of moms who are looking for help by elevating their routine and finding a coffee that gives them energy all day, that helps them actually focus and think more clearly, juggle all the tasks of the day. We have a lot of fun recipes. This is a fun recipe of like how to use, how to brew. And we're always evolving. So let us know what you want to see and how we can support. We recently partnered on that first line. There's a MD doctor that wanted to share her recommending our products to, her clientele. And so, yeah, always kind of growing and evolving and changing our content based on what you want to know. It started out really deeply educational, and I would do lives all the time. And, what is chaga? How do I use it? Why is it beneficial? And this space has grown to a point that people are starting to know those things, which is amazing. And now I think you're ready to take it one step deeper. Like, well, how does it make me feel? What time of day can I use this? Other testimonials. So that's what you'll be seeing more lately.
You got me hooked. I'm totally going to try this out. We've run out of time. I'm going to bring Sean back in so that he can say his goodbyes. And thank you for coming onto the show, Danielle.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks, Danielle, for joining today. Really appreciate it. Look forward to meeting you and seeing what we could do together on a bigger partnership level.
Thank you so much. It's been so much fun. The time flies, and much love.
Thank you. Take care. And we'll reach out to the winner on this week's podcast. Seems that there's just so much interest in the mushroom space in the category. Even on today's vodcast with Christian jumping in, you could hear all the questions and the activity around these products. And then seeing on their Instagram over 300,000 followers. I think it's awesome what they're doing. Their website's top notch. Their products are fantastic. The packaging's super professional. And that's really how this industry will keep growing. And that's why it's here to stay. And that's why, we're so thankful that we're part of it and known through Vegan Essentials, a domain been around for 20 years, PlantX, now it's been around for a few years already and gaining so much traction. And we just have an unbelievable team. Otherwise, it's impossible to have got to this point. Christian has kept pushing to make these vodcasts better and better. And if you notice a few vodcasts ago, there kept being delays and we kept going and pushing, and Christian figured out how to make these vodcasts even better. And, here I'm sitting on the side of a highway and we're still able to run an unbelievable vodcast. And, Jacqueline jumps in last second here to help out as well. So again, from the whole PlantX team, thank you very much for joining us live. Keep sharing what PlantX is all about. That's the only way we'll keep growing. And until next week, stay curious, stay planted, stay healthy.
Thanks for watching the PlantX Vodcast. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more information, go to investor.plantx.com. See you next time.
PlantX believes in a plant-based future for our health and the health of our planet. We've created a unique online shop for everything plant-based. Our intent on positioning globally is the core of our vision for investor accessibility and corporate growth.